Dear brother and sister, how are you feeling right now? Are you ready to hear a message that could change your life? If you feel this message is for you, comment yes below. I want to hear how you're feeling. Dear brother and sister, today I bring you an urgent and powerful message from the Virgin Mary. This is not just an ordinary conversation, and it's certainly not something to ignore. The Virgin Mary has been sending clear signals, and today she has a message for all of us. Her message is powerful, and it's about to change everything you thought you knew about the world and about faith. We live in times of chaos, confusion, and fear. Everywhere we turn, we see suffering, uncertainty, and the world seems to be falling apart. But in the midst of all this darkness, there is a voice calling us to trust, a voice that offers hope. That voice is the voice of the Virgin Mary. She is not just a figure of the past or a distant symbol of religion. She is our mother, and she is here with us now. She is calling us, and she is offering us a way out of this darkness. But to receive her guidance, we must be ready to listen, to follow her lead. This message is not a coincidence, and it's not something to dismiss. If you're here, if you're hearing this, it's because you've been chosen to hear these words. This is the moment, and the Virgin Mary has a message for you, a message that could change your life forever. But it's up to you to open your heart and accept it. Do you feel like you've been guided to hear this message? Comment Amen if you feel that the Virgin Mary is calling you today. In these difficult times, it's easy to feel lost, afraid, or unsure of where to turn. The world around us is in turmoil, and it seems like there's no end to the chaos. But the Virgin Mary is here to tell us that we are not alone. She is with us, guiding us through the darkness and offering us the light of hope. But to receive this light, we must trust her completely. We must trust in her protection and in her ability to guide us through the challenges ahead. She will not leave us in the dark. The Virgin Mary is here, offering us a way to peace, to safety, and to salvation. Dear brother and sister, we are at a pivotal moment in this journey, and we are about to witness the unfolding of something so grand and profound that it will change everything we know. The Virgin Mary, in her divine wisdom, has been guiding us, leading us down a path of spiritual awakening. And now we come to a moment of great significance. We have heard the call to trust, to follow, and to prepare. But what is it that we are truly preparing for? What is the ultimate revelation that the Virgin Mary has in store for us? The cities that have been mentioned, the signs that have been shown, and the messages that have been shared are all leading us to this very moment. It is a moment of transformation, not just for us as individuals, but for the world as a whole. We are on the brink of witnessing a spiritual awakening like never before, a great renewal that will begin with each of us, but will ultimately touch the lives of millions around the globe. But before we can move forward, we must reflect on everything we have learned so far. The Virgin Mary has been clear in her messages. This is a time of great change, and we must be ready to face the challenges ahead. She has called us to trust, to act with faith, and to open our hearts to her guidance. But what comes next? What does the future hold for us? The path ahead is not easy. The road to salvation is not paved with comfort or ease. It is a road that requires sacrifice, trust, and unwavering faith. And while we may face moments of doubt, moments when the road seems too hard to walk, we must remember that the Virgin Mary is always with us. Her love, her protection, and her guidance will never fail us. As we continue on this journey, we must remain vigilant. The signs are all around us, but they are subtle, requiring us to pay attention. The cities that have been mentioned, each of them is a reflection of what we must overcome. Medellin, Mexico City, Miami, Buenos Aires, and Santiago are just the beginning. They are places where spiritual battles are being fought, where the forces of darkness are trying to take hold, but where the light of the Virgin Mary will shine through. And now, the time has come to move forward. The moment of revelation is at hand, and it is here that the greatest challenge lies. We have been preparing for this moment, and now it is time to step forward with courage, with faith, and with a heart full of trust in the Virgin Mary. She has shown us the way, and now it is our turn to walk it. There is a great urgency in the air. The world is changing rapidly, and the signs are becoming clearer every day. The storms are rising, but so too is the light. We are being called to rise above the chaos, to find peace in the midst of the storm, and to help others do the same. This is a time of awakening, a time when we must all come together in faith, in love, and in trust. The Virgin Mary's message is not one of fear, but of hope. It is a message that calls us to strengthen our faith, to trust in the divine protection that is available to all who believe, and to move forward with the knowledge that we are not alone. The spiritual battles that we face are not to be fought alone. We have the guidance of the Virgin Mary, the strength of our faith, and the power of prayer to help us overcome any obstacle. But we must be ready. The coming days will not be easy. The road ahead is fraught with challenges, but the rewards of following the path that the Virgin Mary has set before us will be worth every step. It is a path that will lead us to spiritual renewal, to peace, and to salvation. As we take each step on this journey, we must remember that we are not alone. We have each other, and we have the Virgin Mary to guide us. The path may be difficult, but with her by our side, there is nothing we cannot overcome. The darkness may try to creep in, but the light of her love will shine brighter. We must trust in this light, trust in the protection that it offers, and trust that we are exactly where we are supposed to be. The time is now, dear brother and sister. The time to act, to pray, and to trust is here. Let us stand together, united in faith, and let us move forward with courage, knowing that the Virgin Mary is watching over us, guiding us, and leading us to a brighter future. The path ahead will not be easy, but it will lead to something beautiful, something divine, and something that will change the world as we know it. And so, we move forward, trusting in the Virgin Mary's guidance, with open hearts and unwavering faith. We have come this far together, and now we are ready to face whatever comes next, knowing that with the Virgin Mary by our side, we will never be alone. Dear brother and sister, we have arrived at the point in this journey where the foundation we have built is starting to bear fruit. Every step we've taken in faith, every prayer we've offered, and every word we've received from the Virgin Mary has led us here. Now we are standing at the precipice of a spiritual awakening, not only in our lives, but across the world. The signs are becoming clearer, the moments more urgent, and the time for transformation is now. What is happening right now is no coincidence. This is a divine intervention, a plan that has been unfolding for centuries, and we are privileged to be living in this moment. The Virgin Mary has been guiding us step by step, showing us the path we must walk, and now, as we continue down this path, we begin to understand more fully the great spiritual change that is taking place. The cities we've spoken about, Medellin, Mexico City, Miami, Buenos Aires, and Santiago, are just the beginning. They represent the epicenters of this spiritual shift, the places where the light of faith will shine brightest. But this is not limited to these cities alone. What is happening here is a global phenomenon, one that will touch every corner of the earth, affecting nations, communities, and individuals alike. The Virgin Mary's message is not just for some, it is for everyone. It is a call to all of humanity to return to faith, to return to God, and to unite in prayer for the salvation of the world. But before we move forward, we must take a moment to reflect on what this transformation truly means. The awakening we are experiencing is not just a superficial change. It is a profound spiritual awakening that will redefine our understanding of life, faith, and purpose. It is a shift in consciousness, a return to our spiritual roots, and a rediscovery of the divine love that has always surrounded us. The world around us may seem to be falling apart, but what we are witnessing is not the end. It is the beginning. The chaos we see in the world is the result of a world that has lost its connection to the divine. But through the guidance of the Virgin Mary, we are being called to restore that connection, to rebuild our relationship with God, and to heal the wounds of a broken world. As we walk this path, we must remember that the journey will not be easy. The forces of darkness will try to hold us back, to pull us away from the light that the Virgin Mary is offering. But we must stand firm in our faith. We must trust in her protection and guidance, knowing that with her by our side, there is nothing we cannot overcome. The Virgin Mary has promised us that her love will shield us from the storms, that her protection will be a constant source of strength and peace. And as we continue to move forward, we must understand that this spiritual awakening is not something that happens passively. It is something we must actively engage in. The Virgin Mary is showing us the way, but we must take the steps ourselves. Faith is not something we can hold on to lightly. It requires action, commitment, and perseverance. We must pray, we must act, and we must trust that each step we take brings us closer to the divine plan that is unfolding before our eyes. The awakening will not happen overnight, and the transformation will be gradual. But each day, each prayer, each act of faith brings us closer to the world that God has promised us, a world of peace, love, and unity. The Virgin Mary is leading us there, but we must follow her with courage and conviction. We cannot falter now. The world needs us to be strong, to be faithful, and to be willing to fight for the light. We must also recognize that this is not just a personal awakening. It is a collective awakening. As individuals, we must embrace the change that is taking place within us, but as communities, we must come together in prayer and action. The Virgin Mary has called us to unite, to join hands in faith, and to work together to bring about the transformation that the world so desperately needs. Our prayers, our actions, our faith, these are the tools we have to shape the world into the place of peace and love that God has intended for us. As we move forward in this spiritual awakening, we will see miracles unfold before our eyes. We will witness the power of prayer, the strength of faith, and the grace of God transforming lives and communities. But these miracles will not happen unless we are willing to step into the light, to trust in God, and to be the hands and feet of the Virgin Mary's message. The cities we've mentioned, and many others that will come, will serve as beacons of light in the darkness. They will be the places where the spiritual battle is fought and where the victory of light over darkness will be won. But it will not happen without our active participation. We are the ones who will make this change happen. We are the ones who will bring the light into the world. And with the Virgin Mary as our guide, we will succeed. Dear brother and sister, the journey we are on is unlike any other. We have felt the stirrings of change. We have seen the signs, and we have heard the call of the Virgin Mary. But now, as we move forward, we must prepare for the most intense and transformative part of this journey. The forces of darkness are working tirelessly to stop us, to hold us back from the transformation that is unfolding. But we must not be afraid. We are stronger than ever, and with the Virgin Mary by our side, we will overcome every obstacle that comes our way. The world around us is filled with confusion, fear, and division. Everywhere we look, we see people struggling, people searching for answers, and people questioning their faith. But the Virgin Mary has come to guide us, to show us that the answers we seek are within us, and that the light of God's love is stronger than anything the darkness can throw at us. The battle we face is not a battle of flesh and blood, but a spiritual battle. It is a battle for our souls, for our hearts, and for our faith. In this battle there is no middle ground. We cannot be passive. We cannot sit on the sidelines and hope that everything will work itself out. The Virgin Mary has shown us the way, but now it is up to us to take action. This is not a time for hesitation or fear. This is the time to rise up, to stand firm in our faith, and to take our place in the light. The cities that have been revealed to us, Medellin, Mexico City, Miami, Buenos Aires, Santiago, and Bogotá, are not just places on a map. They are battlegrounds, places where the forces of good and evil are clashing, where spiritual warfare is taking place. In these cities, we will see both great trials and great miracles. But we must understand that the battle is not just happening in these cities. It is happening within each of us. The darkness is not something external. It is a force that resides within our hearts. It is the fear, doubt, and hatred that we must overcome. And we will overcome it with the power of faith, prayer, and the guidance of the Virgin Mary. This battle will not be won through violence or force, but through the strength of our faith and the power of love. The Virgin Mary is our intercessor, our protector, and our guide. She has already won the battle against the forces of darkness, and now she is leading us to the victory that is ours. But we must walk with her. We must follow her example of humility, love, and faith. The spiritual battle we are fighting is not just about personal salvation. It is about the salvation of the world. The forces of darkness are trying to divide us, to lead us astray, to break us apart. But the Virgin Mary is calling us to come together in faith, to unite in love, and to stand strong in the face of adversity. We are stronger together, and together, with the power of God, we will win this battle. The signs are clear. The world is on the brink of a great spiritual awakening, but it is not a time to sit idly by and wait for things to happen. This is a time to take action, to stand firm, and to trust in the divine protection of the Virgin Mary. She has already shown us the way, and now it is time for us to follow. The cities we've discussed are places of great significance, but the most important city is within each of us. The battle begins in our own hearts. We must look inside, confront the darkness within, and choose the light. This is the moment we have been preparing for. This is the time to act. The transformation we seek will not happen without our active participation. We must pray, love, and trust in the Virgin Mary's guidance. As we face this spiritual battle, we must remember that the Virgin Mary is not just a figure in history. She is here with us, walking by our side. Her love and protection are real, and we can feel it if we open our hearts to her. In this battle, we are not alone. We have the power of prayer, the strength of our faith, and the intercession of the Virgin Mary. With her, we will not fail. This is a time for us to rise up in faith, to stand together as a community of believers, and to walk boldly into the light of God's love. The darkness may try to overwhelm us, but the light of God is always stronger. The Virgin Mary has promised that she will be with us, that she will protect us, and that she will lead us to victory. But we must be prepared. The battle is not over. The forces of darkness will not give up easily, and we must continue to fight with faith, love, and prayer. The final victory will be ours, but only if we stay true to the path, only if we continue to trust in the Virgin Mary's guidance. As we move forward, we will see the miracles of faith manifest in ways we never imagined. We will witness the power of love and the strength of the Virgin Mary's intercession in our lives, but we must remain vigilant. The spiritual battle is far from over, and we must continue to trust in the Virgin Mary's protection and guidance. She has already won the battle, and now it is our turn to claim the victory. Dear brother and sister, we have walked a long way on this path of spiritual awakening, and as we stand at the threshold of what is about to unfold, we must remember that faith is the key that will unlock the divine transformation we've been waiting for. The world is changing around us, and the signs are all around us. But the question remains, are we ready to take the next step? Are we ready to truly embrace the power of faith and the protection of the Virgin Mary? The forces of darkness will continue to challenge us. They will try to weaken our faith, to make us doubt, and to distract us from the path ahead. But we must remain steadfast. The Virgin Mary has given us the tools to navigate through the challenges, and the light of God's love will guide us through every storm. This is not a time to hesitate, but a time to move forward with courage and confidence, knowing that we are protected and loved by the Mother of God. We have been preparing for this moment, for this awakening, and now we are being called to act. We are being called to embrace faith as our shield, prayer as our weapon, and love as our guiding light. The challenges that lie ahead may seem insurmountable, but they are nothing compared to the power of God that we have within us. The Virgin Mary has promised that we will not face these challenges alone. She is with us every step of the way, guiding us, protecting us, and interceding on our behalf. The battle between light and darkness is real, and we are caught in the middle of it. But we have the power to choose the light. The Virgin Mary has shown us the way, and now it is up to us to follow it with unwavering faith. The time has come for us to stand strong, to stand united, and to trust that the path we are walking is the path that will lead us to victory. The forces of darkness will try to distract us, but we must stay focused. We must keep our eyes on the light and move forward with determination. This journey is not just about personal salvation, it is about the salvation of the world. The changes we are witnessing in the cities, in the people, in the world itself, are all part of a divine plan that has been unfolding for centuries. We are part of something much bigger than ourselves, and the time has come for us to step into our role in this plan. The Virgin Mary is our guide, and she will lead us through the most difficult of trials. But we must follow her, we must trust her, and we must act. As the awakening spreads, more and more people will be called to faith. The cities that have been mentioned, including Medellin, Mexico City, Miami, Buenos Aires, Santiago, and Bogotá, will serve as beacons of light in the world. They will be the places where the greatest transformations take place. But the change will not stop there. As the Virgin Mary has shown us, this transformation is global. It will touch every corner of the earth, every soul, and every heart. The spiritual rebirth we are experiencing is not just an event. It is a movement. It is a movement of faith, of love, and of prayer. As more and more people embrace the message of the Virgin Mary, the world will begin to heal. The forces of darkness will lose their grip, and the light will shine brighter than ever before. But we must remain vigilant. We must continue to pray, to love, and to trust in the divine protection that has been offered to us. We must also understand that this is not just about the cities we have spoken of. It is about every individual, every family, every community. The spiritual transformation that is coming is not just for those in certain locations, it is for everyone. This is a time for global unity in faith. As we pray together, as we work together, as we stand together, we will create a united front against the forces of darkness, and with the Virgin Mary by our side, there is nothing we cannot overcome. The road ahead may seem daunting, but we must remember that faith will carry us through. It is faith that will give us the strength to face what lies ahead. It is prayer that will protect us and guide us. And it is love that will unite us and give us the courage to move forward. The journey is long, but the end is near. The transformation is happening right now, and we are part of it. As we approach the final phase of this spiritual awakening, we must remember that the greatest challenge lies in our hearts. We must examine ourselves, confront our fears and doubts, and choose to embrace the light that the Virgin Mary is offering us. The time for passive waiting is over. The time for active faith is here. The world needs us to step forward, to take action, and to be the light in the darkness. The transformation that we are experiencing is not just a change in the world around us, it is a change within us. The Virgin Mary is calling us to purify our hearts, to surrender our fears, and to fully embrace the love and protection that she offers. This is the ultimate test of our faith, to trust that we are not alone, to trust that God's love will guide us, and to trust that the Virgin Mary will always be with us, leading us to victory. Dear brother and sister, as we stand on the edge of this profound spiritual awakening, it is important to reflect on what the Virgin Mary has revealed to us so far. The path we are walking is not an easy one, but it is the path of transformation, the path of spiritual renewal that will lead us to a deeper connection with God. The forces of darkness may try to confuse us, to pull us off course, but we must stay grounded in our faith, for the light of the Virgin Mary will guide us through the storm. The world around us is changing rapidly. Nations, cities, and individuals are facing trials, confusion, and uncertainty. The spiritual warfare is intensifying, and it can feel overwhelming at times. But we must remember that this is not a battle we fight alone. The Virgin Mary is with us, leading us toward a future of peace and salvation. Her love is a shield, her prayers are our strength, and her guidance is the light that will show us the way. We have been told that we are on the brink of a spiritual awakening. What does this mean? What does it require of us? It means that we are being called to open our hearts fully to God's love, to trust in His divine plan, and to walk with unwavering faith. The Virgin Mary has shown us that this awakening is not just for some. It is for all of us. It is a global transformation, one that begins in our hearts and extends to every person and every place. But to experience this transformation, we must be willing to change, to leave behind the old ways of thinking and acting, and to embrace the divine guidance that the Virgin Mary offers. We cannot continue living as we did before. The time for complacency has passed. We must take active steps to purify ourselves, to renew our faith, and to prepare for the changes that will come. As we reflect on the spiritual awakening, we must also recognize the importance of prayer and action. It is not enough to simply acknowledge the need for change. We must actively work toward it. This journey is not passive. It requires commitment. It requires sacrifice. But it also brings hope, peace, and transformation. The Virgin Mary has given us the tools to succeed in this spiritual journey. Her intercession, her love, and her protection are the divine gifts we can rely on, but we must use them with faith and dedication. The path ahead is not free from challenges. We will encounter obstacles, distractions, and doubts. The world will try to pull us away from the light, but with the Virgin Mary by our side, we can overcome anything. The cities we've spoken of, Medellin, Mexico City, Miami, Buenos Aires, Santiago, Bogotá, and many others, will continue to be central points in this global transformation. But it is important to remember that these cities are just symbols. They represent the spiritual challenges and opportunities we will face on our journey. The Virgin Mary is not just calling these cities to transformation. She is calling us all to spiritual renewal. In each of these cities, there will be moments of trial. There will be moments of uncertainty, moments when we will question our faith. But there will also be moments of profound spiritual awakening, moments when we will experience God's presence in ways we never thought possible. The Virgin Mary is leading us to these moments, and we must trust that they will bring us closer to the divine. The time is coming when the spiritual battle will intensify. As the forces of darkness fight to keep the world in chaos, we must remember that we are the light. Our faith is the weapon that will drive the darkness away, but we cannot do it alone. We must come together, united in prayer, united in love, united in faith. The Virgin Mary is calling us to be a beacon of light in the darkness, and together we can make the difference. But this unity requires action. It requires that we step forward in faith, knowing that the Virgin Mary will protect us, guide us, and strengthen us. We are not helpless. We have the power of prayer, the power of love, and the power of the Holy Spirit to help us through. And with the Virgin Mary as our guide, we will succeed. As we move forward, we must remain vigilant. The spiritual battle is not over yet. and the forces of darkness will not give up easily, but we must trust that the victory is already ours. The Virgin Mary has promised us that she will be with us every step of the way. We must continue to walk in faith, knowing that with her by our side, there is nothing we cannot overcome. The awakening that is taking place is not just for some of us, it is for all of us. We are all called to be part of this transformation. Whether you are in one of the cities mentioned or elsewhere, the call is the same. The Virgin Mary is calling us all to spiritual renewal, to be the instruments of divine change in the world. The time has come to answer that call. Dear brother and sister, we are nearing the final phase of this journey. The path we've been walking is leading us to a moment of ultimate significance, a moment that will define the course of our lives and the future of our world. The Virgin Mary has shown us the way, and now it is time to take that final step to stand firm in our faith and to trust completely in her guidance. The spiritual awakening that we have been preparing for is no longer just an abstract idea. It is a real, tangible force that is beginning to reshape the world before our very eyes. The time to act is now. We cannot wait any longer. The world is changing rapidly, and the signs of transformation are all around us. The cities we have mentioned, Medellin, Mexico City, Miami, Buenos Aires, Santiago, Bogotá, are already feeling the effects of this spiritual shift. But the awakening is not confined to these cities. It is spreading, touching every corner of the world, every heart and every soul. This transformation is global, and it is not just about physical places. It is about us. It is about how we choose to live, how we choose to love, and how we choose to follow the guidance of the Virgin Mary. But this path is not easy. The forces of darkness are working harder than ever to keep us in a state of confusion, fear, and division. They will try to pull us off course, to distract us from the light that is beginning to shine brighter than ever before. But we must remember that the light is stronger than the darkness. The Virgin Mary has already won the battle, and we must trust that with her by our side, we too will emerge victorious. The spiritual battle we are facing is not just external, it is an internal battle as well. We must confront the doubts, the fears, and the insecurities that reside within us. These are the true obstacles standing in the way of our spiritual transformation, but we have the strength to overcome them. The Virgin Mary is here to guide us, to help us purify our hearts, and to help us stay on the path of love, faith, and hope. As we prepare for the challenges ahead, we must remember that we are not alone. The Virgin Mary has already promised that she will be with us every step of the way, guiding us through the most difficult moments. She is our intercessor, our protector, and our guide, but she needs us to trust in her, to act with faith, and to stand firm in our commitment to the divine plan that is unfolding. The time has come for us to step into the light. The world needs us to be strong, to be faithful, and to love one another as the Virgin Mary loves us. Our faith is our greatest weapon in this spiritual battle. It is through our prayers, our actions, and our love that we will see the miracles of transformation unfold. But we must stay vigilant. The forces of darkness will try to shake our faith, to make us doubt, to make us believe that the light is not enough. But we must remain steadfast, knowing that God's love is greater than anything the world can throw at us. The final challenges we will face will test our faith in ways we can't yet fully comprehend. We will encounter moments of confusion, moments when it seems like the world is falling apart. But in those moments, we must remember that the light is always stronger than the darkness. The Virgin Mary is protecting us, and we must trust that she is leading us to victory. These challenges are not to break us, they are to strengthen us, to refine our faith, and to prepare us for the world that is coming. The victory is not in avoiding the battles, but in winning them with the strength of our faith. The Virgin Mary is with us, and with her by our side, we cannot fail. As we face these final challenges, we must continue to pray, to trust in the divine plan, and to love one another. The path ahead will not be easy, but it will lead us to a world of peace, love, and spiritual renewal. The Virgin Mary has shown us the way, and now it is up to us to walk it. The transformation that is taking place in the world is not just something we are witnessing, it is something we are actively participating in. The Virgin Mary has shown us the way, but we must walk it together. The time has come for us to come together in faith, in prayer, and in love. We are not alone. We are part of something much greater than ourselves, and together we can create a world of light, peace, and love. But it starts with us. It starts with each of us taking action, living in faith, and trusting in the protection of the Virgin Mary. We are on the edge of something great, something divine, and we must stay committed to the path ahead. The final victory is ours, but it requires our active participation, our faith, and our love. The Virgin Mary is our guide, and with her leading us, we will succeed. Dear brother and sister, we have come so far on this journey, and while the road ahead may seem uncertain at times, we are now standing at the threshold of an incredible transformation. The signs we have seen, the messages we have received, and the guidance of the Virgin Mary are leading us to a moment of profound spiritual awakening. What we are about to witness is not just a personal change, it is a global transformation, a rebirth of faith, and a shift in the very fabric of our lives. But as we prepare to embrace the light, we must remember that change is never easy. It requires us to confront our deepest fears, to leave behind the doubts and insecurities that have held us back, and to step forward in unwavering faith. The Virgin Mary has shown us the path, and now it is time to walk it with courage, with love, and with full trust in the divine protection she offers. We are at the point where we must make a choice. The world around us is filled with distractions, with temptations that seek to pull us away from the light. The forces of darkness will continue to challenge us, to test our faith, and to sow seeds of doubt in our hearts. But we must remember that the light will always overcome the darkness. The Virgin Mary is our beacon of light, and as long as we keep our eyes on her, we will find our way through the darkest times. We must recognize that this awakening is not something that happens passively. It requires action. It requires that we actively choose to embrace the light, to trust in the divine plan, and to be vessels of love and faith in a world that so desperately needs it. The time for passivity has passed. The world is in need of spiritual renewal, and it is up to us to be the instruments of that change. We cannot wait for others to act. We must be the ones to step forward and take the lead. The transformation we are experiencing is not just a spiritual one. It is a collective awakening that will change the way we live, love, and interact with each other. The Virgin Mary has called us to be leaders in this transformation, to spread the message of hope, love, and faith wherever we go. It is time for us to be the light in the darkness, to share the love of God with others, and to help bring about the divine transformation that the Virgin Mary has promised. As we embrace the light, we must also remember that the path to spiritual renewal is not without challenges. The road ahead will be difficult, and there will be moments when we feel overwhelmed by the weight of the world. But it is in those moments that we must turn to the Virgin Mary and trust in her intercession. She is our guide, our protector, and our source of strength. With her by our side, there is nothing that can stand in our way. The forces of darkness will try to block the light. They will try to fill our hearts with fear, anger, and division, but we must not allow them to succeed. The light that the Virgin Mary offers is stronger than any darkness. It is through faith, prayer, and love that we will overcome the challenges ahead. As we continue on this journey, we must stay focused on the ultimate goal, spiritual renewal. The Virgin Mary has shown us that this renewal begins within us. It begins in our hearts, with the decision to trust in God's love, to embrace the light, and to walk the path of faith. We cannot change the world if we are not willing to change ourselves. The transformation we seek must begin within our hearts, and from there it will spread to the world around us. The cities that have been revealed to us, Medellin, Mexico City, Miami, Buenos Aires, Santiago and Bogota, are key points in this transformation, but they are only the beginning. The true power of the transformation is in the hearts of the people. It is in the faith of individuals that the change will begin. But when those individual changes combine, they will become a force that will sweep across the world. The transformation will be global and it will be profound. But to experience this transformation, we must continue to pray, to trust, and to take action. The world is waiting for us to step forward, to take the lead, and to be the change we wish to see in the world. The light is here, and it is up to us to embrace it fully. The Virgin Mary has given us everything we need to succeed in this spiritual journey. Now it is up to us to walk the path, to trust in her guidance, and to step boldly into the light. The time for change is now. The world is in need of the light, and we are the ones who must bring it. Let us stand together, united in faith, love and prayer, and let us step forward into the new world that the Virgin Mary has promised. Dear brother and sister, the time of transformation is upon us. As we continue down this path, we must realize that the journey is not an easy one. The forces of darkness are real, and they will challenge us every step of the way. But the Virgin Mary, our divine guide, has shown us the path, and she will never leave us. The path to spiritual renewal is one filled with trials, but it is through these trials that our faith is tested and strengthened. We are living in a time of great spiritual warfare, and every day brings new challenges. The world is in turmoil, and it can feel like we are being pulled in every direction. The forces of evil are at work, trying to tear apart the fabric of faith that binds us together. But we must remember that the power of faith is greater than anything the darkness can throw at us. With the Virgin Mary by our side, we have all the strength we need to endure, to overcome, and to emerge victorious. As the spiritual battle rages, we are faced with a choice. Will we stay true to our faith, or will we allow the forces of darkness to weaken us? The road ahead will not be easy, but the Virgin Mary has shown us that it is through these trials that we will grow stronger. The light of God will always shine brighter than the darkness, but we must actively choose to follow the light. There will be moments when we feel weak, moments when we doubt the path ahead. But these are the moments when we must turn to the Virgin Mary. She is our intercessor, our protector, and our source of strength. We are not alone in this battle. We have the light of God guiding us, and we have the protection of the Virgin Mary surrounding us. In the coming days, we will face challenges that will test our faith. We will encounter obstacles that seem insurmountable, and there will be moments when it will feel like the world is slipping further away from the divine plan. But in those moments, we must remember that our faith is our shield. It is through our trust in God, our prayers, and our love for one another that we will overcome the trials before us. As we prepare for the trials ahead, we must also remember that the spiritual battle is not one that is fought with physical strength. It is fought with the strength of faith, love, and prayer. The forces of darkness are not interested in physical power, but in trying to weaken our resolve, to break our connection to the divine. But the Virgin Mary has already won the ultimate battle, and through her, we too will overcome the darkness. The cities we have mentioned, Medellin, Mexico City, Miami, Buenos Aires, Santiago, and Bogota, will continue to be places of great spiritual importance. But it is not just the cities that are significant. It is the hearts of the people. The battle for faith will take place within each of us, and it is up to us to guard and protect our faith. The Virgin Mary has shown us that through prayer, through love, and through our commitment to her divine guidance, we will find the strength to overcome. As the trials continue, we must keep in mind that these challenges are not meant to defeat us. They are meant to purify us, to strengthen our faith, and to prepare us for the spiritual renewal that is coming. The world is being transformed, and we are part of that transformation. But it is up to us to stay strong, to remain faithful, and to trust that the Virgin Mary will continue to guide us through each and every challenge we face. In these difficult times, we must also remember that the Virgin Mary's love is unconditional. No matter how far we feel we've strayed, no matter how many mistakes we've made, she is always there, always ready to lead us back to the light. The trials we face are not meant to push us away from God, but to draw us closer to Him. Each obstacle we encounter is an opportunity to grow stronger in our faith, to become more deeply connected to the divine, and to understand more fully the love that the Virgin Mary has for us. We must also recognize that prayer will be our greatest tool in the days to come. It is through prayer that we will find the strength to face the challenges, and it is through prayer that we will connect more deeply with the divine. The Virgin Mary has taught us the power of prayer, and now it is time for us to use that power to overcome the obstacles ahead. The time for action is now. The spiritual battle is real, and it is intensifying. But with the Virgin Mary by our side, we can overcome any challenge. She has shown us the way, and it is time for us to walk it with faith, courage, and love. Dear brother and sister, we have walked this path together, step by step, through the trials, the doubts, and the victories. The journey has not been easy, but it has been a journey of spiritual awakening, of faith, and of trust in the divine plan that the Virgin Mary has shown us. Now, as we reach the final stage of this spiritual transformation, we must reflect on everything we've learned, everything we've endured, and everything that is yet to come. The forces of darkness have tried to stop us, to confuse us, and to weaken our faith. But we have overcome. Through our prayers, through our unity, and through our unwavering belief in the Virgin Mary's guidance, we have proven that the light is stronger than any darkness. We have faced the challenges, and we are now ready for the ultimate revelation, the moment when all will be revealed, when the world will experience the spiritual awakening that the Virgin Mary has been preparing us for. This moment is not just the end of a journey, it is the beginning of something new. The spiritual transformation we have been experiencing will reach its culmination as the final battle is fought, not in the world around us, but within our own hearts. The forces of darkness will no longer have the power to sway us, because we now know the truth of God's love, the truth of the Virgin Mary's protection, and the truth that faith and prayer are the keys to unlocking the divine transformation we've been waiting for. The Virgin Mary has shown us that this is not the end, but the beginning of a new era. The transformation will spread across the world, touching every heart, every community, every nation. The cities we have spoken of, Medellin, Mexico City, Miami, Buenos Aires, Santiago, Bogota, and many more, are just the starting points. This awakening is spreading across the globe. It is a spiritual revolution, a revolution of love, faith, and hope. Now, as we stand at the threshold of this final moment, we must remember that the true victory lies in our hearts. The battle was never about the cities, the nations, or the world. It was about us, about our ability to trust in God, to embrace the light, and to follow the guidance of the Virgin Mary. We are the ones who will bring about the change we seek. We are the ones who will lead the way to a new world of peace and unity. The spiritual battle we've been fighting is now over. The victory has already been won. The darkness has been defeated by the light, and now we must step forward, together, united in faith, united in love, and embrace the new world that has been promised to us. The Virgin Mary has already prepared the way for us, and now it is our time to walk it with courage, with faith, and with the knowledge that we are protected and loved. As we walk into this new world, we must remember that we are not alone. We have the Virgin Mary's protection, we have each other, and we have the love of God that surrounds us. The time for spiritual renewal has come, and now is the moment to embrace it fully. The world has been waiting for this moment, and now we are here, ready to bring about the great transformation. We must stand strong in our faith, united in our mission, and committed to the path of love and peace that the Virgin Mary has shown us. This is the moment we have been waiting for, the moment when the light of God's love will shine brighter than ever before, and we will see the transformation we have prayed for. The new world is ours, and it starts now. Virgin Mary, Mother of all, we thank you for your guidance, your love, and your protection. We stand united in faith, ready to embrace the new world that you have prepared for us. With you by our side, we are strong. With your love, we are safe. We trust in your protection, and we commit to following your guidance every step of the way. We pray for the spiritual renewal of the world, for the peace and love that will be spread across every nation, every city, and every heart. We ask for your continued intercession, for the strength to face the challenges ahead, and for the courage to bring your light into the world. Thank you, Virgin Mary, for showing us the way. We trust in you, and we will follow you. Amen. Now, as we close this chapter of the journey, remember this: the transformation has already begun, and we are part of it. The road ahead may be difficult, but the light of God's love will guide us every step of the way. Together, with the Virgin Mary by our side, we will walk into the new world that awaits us, a world of peace, unity, and spiritual rebirth. This is not the end. It is the beginning of the greatest transformation humanity has ever seen. Keep walking in faith, stay united in love, and trust that the victory is already ours. Until the next chapter, until the next revelation, keep your hearts open, your prayers strong, and your faith unwavering. The journey has just begun, and together we will see the world transformed.